Alice Tovar. I am currently an instructional coach working on my principal certificate so that I can impact more teachers and students than I currently do in my position. The following participating video activity involved interviewing leaders from maintenance, food services, transportation, human resources, PEMS, and a nurse to understand how each department uses technology to manage their department, enhance their department and school, the improvements needed, and the strengths technology brings to their department. I chose this activity because of the growing demands of technology and the generational changes surrounding technology. I constantly challenge myself to keep up with technology advances as my 2, 5, and 8-year-olds are growing up with smartphones, iPads, and iPods as their everyday devices. My everyday devices as I was growing up were rocks, shovels, and dirt, and the sun. As a leader, I know that I'm going to need to be knowledgeable of how people use technology to communicate and to manage the school effectively using technology. The Harlandale family that I interviewed started with Diane Tudyk, who has been the Executive Director of Human Resources for the last 7 of her 28 years with the district. Following was Christopher Ramirez, who has been a part of the Harlandale family for 3 years, serving as the Director of Transportation. The next interviewee was Delilah Medina, who has served as head custodian for Harlandale for 13 years and also served as head custodian for a previous school district. She has a total of 25 years of service as custodian. The 4th member of our district that has helped with the daily function of the school system is Julie Rodriguez. She has served for our district for 9 out of 12 years as a management position, and she has worked in this line of work for 31 years. Another district family member interviewed was Belen Maldonado. She has provided the district with 18 years of her 20 years of service as a registered nurse. And finally, I interviewed Belia Barajas, who has worked with PEMS for the latter 16 years of her 30 years with Harlandale. All of these people help the district run smoothly and use technology as a critical part of the everyday function of their jobs. We're going to move on from here to the interviews. Ms. Tudyk, I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come in and interview you.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
I'd like to start by telling you that all the questions will deal with technology.
All right.
So we'll start by asking how many years you have been in this position.
I'll complete 3 years in June.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can state what this position is.
I'm the Executive Director of Human Resources.
How many years have you been with the district total?
Oh, like since 1492. I think I've been here, I think I'm in my 27th year or 28th. It's right in there. You know, it all goes like that when you're having fun.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's admirable. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I know I'm in my 7th year in HR. So.
7th year in HR.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for years of service. That's wonderful to give back to the community here.
Oh, it's easy. This job, this district, no problem.
It's a wonderful district, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get started with the questions.
Okay.
How do you use technology in your position to help your department run effectively?
Wow, it's a everyday part of what we do, even from the very beginning, from employees who want to work in the district have to apply online.
Okay.
So you apply online, and then we do our filtering and our sorting online. We do background checks. Background checks are online. When you're fingerprinted, it's through a web-based server that we are with DPS. Then when you get processed as an employee, everything goes online. Your W-9, or W-2, all your I-9s, all those acronyms are online. So everything we do, how you get a paycheck, how payroll knows what to pay you, is all technology based. We have to know how to use Region 20 or ITEX, which is you use it for grading. Mm-hmm. We use it to get you a paycheck.
Okay.
So everything is software. Even from ASAP, how we manage ASAP, which is our substitute system here. That's a software program. even the basic software like Microsoft Word, the letters that we compose, Excel, PowerPoints. We're doing tons of, PowerPoint presentations. We do so many orientations. I mean, from the very basic of Microsoft Office Suite to using specialized, iTech software. Every day, it's everything we do. If the electricity went out, we probably wouldn't know what to do.
That's a thing that I keep hearing with everyone. They wouldn't know what to do if the programs went out.
We could file, I guess. Like, I don't know.
iText is something that I keep hearing everyone talk about. The Teams clerk mentioned it, the cafeteria manager mentioned it, and now you've mentioned it too. And this is what we do our payroll on.
It's your grade book. Your grade book it's ITCCS.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Now I know what you're talking about.
But there's a teacher version, like what's important to you, your grade book part, the discipline part, all of that. For, the cafeteria manager, she's putting in orders and food. For us, we're putting in, your payroll, your CIC. If you go out on FMLA, that all of that stuff is on our end.
Mm-hmm. So it encompasses almost everything that
yes.
seems to be important to
a district. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Just everybody uses it in a different way because iText is a huge umbrella, and under that umbrella is a teacher portion, a principal portion, like purchase orders.
Okay.
Yeah, how you do purchase orders are in iText. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now it makes sense to me. Thank you. How often, well, you know what, you've already answered this one, which was how often do you use technology? You've hit that one many times.
Every day, all day. Now, but the irony is not lost on me that part of being human resources is dealing on a human level with parents, with employees, with, so we do that a lot. But even then, to service them, it's technology, because they'll come in and say, Ms. Tudek, why is my pay this? Or, well, let me look it up. Let me do the calculations for you. So between human beings and the computer, that's about all we do.
Your office does a wonderful job. They've always been extremely friendly. When I called to make this interview, they were extremely friendly. When I called to get my service record, everyone was friendly and at the same time got everything off of the database extremely fast for me.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Everything worked very well. To what degree are workers knowledgeable of and proficient with technology in your department?
They're proficient. We're not everything that a lot of our secretaries learn, and to some extent our administrators, we learn on the job. We learn as we need it. Our secretaries, some of them didn't know how to mail merge, Excel into, whatever. But we taught them and they learn it. And then they know how to do it. I am sure there's many other things, like people will come in, like our IT specialist will come in and say, if you click here, if you click there, that this, oh really, okay, and then we learn it. We just learn as we go. We do enough that gets us running, but we're always keeping our ears to the ground and our eyes open if we hear other strategies or other techniques, other shortcuts that we learn. Like my secretary, we were okay with the thing that PDFs, Adobe Acrobat. And then she learned, that you could click here and do this and it'll do, and it's great. But that's the benefit of sending our staff to training. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather lose her for one day and then she comes back and it makes her job that much more easy to do and much more efficient. So no complaints. So we're okay, but are we like, on a scale of 1 to 10? I would say we're probably a good, strong 8. Mm-hmm.
Are department objectives effectively and efficiently met through the use of technology?
Yes.
I would say every time with this certificate that I'm trying to achieve, every time I've called and asked for all of the things that they were asking of, it was super quick turnover. I'm talking a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, now service records are generated by iText.
Mm-hmm.
In the olden days, it was take out your folder, your employee folder, and then type in the year. It was crazy. And now it's like put in your name, put in your social, press a button, and out it comes.
Other students were saying that they were taking weeks to get theirs.
Mm-hmm.
I got mine in a day.
Right, because we learned that iText can create Service records. Because when I first got that position as an elementary coordinator, we were doing it the long service record with the thing, and I was like, oh my God. And now it's like, yeah. So we're always open to and learning, and we don't push off like, oh no, that's not the way I do it. That's not the way. It's like, oh really, you can do it that way? Okay, show me. So, and that's what I love about the people I work with.
That's wonderful. Do you feel technology has helped you become more effective at your job?
Yes and no. I can become more effective because I can do more quicker. Because I can type. I'm not a pecker like this. I can actually type, so I can get things out faster. Like in the time you were setting up, I answered 24 emails. So I'm pretty quick. But at the same time, where it makes me not effective is the lack of filters that technology provides. So instead of, calling the office and having set up an appointment or go to the right person, all the employees just email me. Even if it has nothing to do with HR, like, Miss Tudyk, where's our check on the payroll website?
I see.
Ask payroll. But they know I'm in charge of HR. They know my email. So let me just see. So my email is flooded every day. So there's sometimes I feel like the technology has not allowed me to be effective because it's flooded with unnecessary traffic. And I'll get things like, Miss Tudyk, will buses arrive early on early? You should call transportation.
Right.
So, but I'm sure that happens to everyone. And how it can, things like email on your phone and email on your. So effectiveness may be at work because I can get my email, but I also need to be an effective wife. And effective, that's also, it's a balance. And so the fact that my email can follow me wherever I go, I was like, I think it diminishes my effectiveness there. But that's on me to call balance on that, which I've been a little better at lately. A little.
Perhaps it's from the positive relationships that you've established with everyone.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
But I can see where it becomes overwhelming too.
Yeah, but it's part of it. But I love that, people can feel. I was just saying that about Harlandale today. I was talking to another person that's in a similar position in a much larger district that has to go through, I have to go through the director, and then the director goes through the associate somebody, that goes through the executive somebody, before it goes to the assistant superintendent somebody, that maybe might make it to the superintendent. I was like, wow, I just picked up the phone and called Mr. Rodriguez. And so there's some beauty to, our size and being able to reach out. And so if the teachers think, you know what, I don't know where I can get an answer from, but I know HR always answers our questions, whether it's about buses or what. I love that our employees think that. I love that, and I'll always forward their email to the right, and then the right department answers right away. So you know what, if that's what it takes for employees to feel like, I don't know where to go, but HR is always, what a great reputation to have, even if it means a flooded email. Okay. We'll get over it. How tragic for us. When people need answers, they count on us. I'm okay.
That's a great outlook on it.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll live.
How has technology changed within your job or career since you began in this profession?
Oh, wow. So because I started in 1492, I think that was the last year, my first year teaching was the last year of the mimeograph, the purple.
Yes.
That was my last, I want to say that was the last year, and then Xerox machines came, and we thought the world had never seen anything like a Xerox machine. So, yeah. So now I'm really feeling old. Thank you, Ms. Torah.
I remember from my mother when we'd come and I'd help her run the copies all the time.
Yeah, and so so it's changed so much, not only in how the technology has changed, but also in its accessibility. Because even when computers first came out, it was only the computer lab. Now it's only, now computers, the expectation is they're in every room, kids have access. You know, we should all, I mean, now our payroll, we don't even get checks anymore.
Right.
So, and we used to, in the olden days, 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, we used to say, oh, well, you know, the custodians and the child nutrition, oh, they, you know, they need to have to always get everything in paper because they don't have access to computer, they don't have email. Well, now they have email, and because they have email, they have this. So now the expectation is everybody. There's no like, oh, not the custodians, not the grounds upkeep, not, you know, not the plumbers, everybody. So it's changed, and from it being a convenience or like yay or a luxury to it's just part of our everyday existence. That's the biggest change. It's how our attitude for it, like, it was a luxury to have it before, and now it's an absolute, it has to be part of. What teacher would go into a classroom and there's not a computer and would think that, oh, well, gosh, we're just not lucky to have computers. You just have them, and they're replaced every 5 years, period. We don't get a vote on that. We don't get to say, no, we're cheap this year, we want to save money. Every 5 years, those computers are going to be taken out.
It's
so,
amazing.
you know, but that's probably our biggest change.
Does technology facilitate effective learning and other school student services?
I would imagine so, because we're HR, not so much the learning. That would be a more C&I question. The reality is the way our kids are growing up is because they're digital natives. They're, I mean, this is their world. I mean, I think one of the most famous YouTube videos is the kid, you know, she's like 18 months and she's scrolling through a magazine, and then they take away the iPad and they give her a real magazine, and she's doing this, and like, and she starts crying because she's like, what is the magazine? I mean, she doesn't get it, but she knows how to turn a page on an iPad. So yeah, I think we have to understand this is the way what kids are used to, so we respond to that. So
no, it's so true, and it's actually embarrassing for me to say when my children know how to run my cell phone and my iPad much more than I do.
Oh.
And that, my 2-year-old can tell me what to do with my iPad. So no, it's completely understandable. And yes, what are some strengths and weaknesses within your department's technology systems?
Probably, let me think, on our technology system, one is because we're learning as we go. Like, oh, can somebody, like, we realized nobody knew how, if we had an Excel spreadsheet with, you know, all the names and all of the email addresses, how can we send a blast email to everybody on that column? I knew there was a way to do it, because I know people have like listservs and all that other stuff, and I know there's a way of doing it, because that's how people get blast emails in, you know, with SAPA, you know, but how do you get it if it's off the Excel? I can create a listserv, but what if somebody gives us a sheet? Because we were thinking and using technology, how can we get the name of Harlandale out there? So we decided, what if we got the email addresses of all of the graduating education majors at UTSA, UT Austin, Texas A&M, and just got it, and they sent it to us in a spreadsheet instead of typing it. There's got to be a way. We just asked IT, and they said, we'll go and show you, let's practice it, and now we know how. So I think that's the limit, is I don't know if we know all of the things that we could know to make us better and faster. I know we're getting there, but we don't come into this job, into HR, like IT specialists. So the only way we can ameliorate that is to make sure that as they offer classes, as they, you know, go out there and like, maybe we should be going to some of the classes that they offer to the teachers. But we don't look those up on Eduphoria unless someone tells us there's a class being offered. So being more like, go to a class and not just like, let me learn this one thing or let me learn this. Maybe there's a class and we can learn more, because I don't think we don't know what we don't know. I mean, we just don't.
No, that's true. It seems like that also would be your strength, is that you know already that you'll need to learn more.
Right.
And the child are willing to learn.
Yeah.
All along.
So that is our weakness and our strength at the same time. But again, I love that everyone here is willing to learn, and everyone here is willing to try something new. That's a true strength.
Mm-hmm. What negative effects has technology posed in your workplace?
Negative? Other than the personal thing, like we can't ever get away from it, it seems like. You know, we can't ever separate ourselves. But part of it comes with a job, you know, in this particular job. You know, if I'm going to serve as executive director and sit on the superintendent's cabinet, people should be able to find me. You know, but like with teachers, you know, principals emailing teachers on the weekend, and teachers emailing principals on the weekend. It's like there just doesn't seem to be a way to. We just always have to remind ourselves of how do we balance that out so that we're not always checking our email. This compulsion, you know, it's kind of the compulsion to check Facebook. Like, did anybody like my post? And this compulsion, did I get an email? Is my, you know, so if your boss is sending you an email over the weekend, I mean, should you feel compelled every day to check your email? Can you take a day off from email? We should take a day off from technology, you know, and just kind of unplug for a little bit.
You've mentioned several different ways and aspects that you feel your staff needs staff development in. Is there any more that you'd like to add?
Our biggest use, other than, you know, like Word, is Word and Excel, and those are probably the big ones we use, like PowerPoint. The basic Microsoft suite, we're good at the basic. I'd like to be better at it. Like, I don't know, I'm going to make this up, like in Word. I'm probably the only one, maybe two of us, that use like the edit. You know, that, you know, when people send you something and you want to edit, and then the edits come out on the side, then how you get rid of it, and how we're probably the only two of us that use it. So probably just further training, like maybe Microsoft Office, you know, intermediate. But I think we've got the basics covered. But anything that further our cause to be more efficient and better, I think I'll always support.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I mean, for sure, I cannot believe, I always catch myself saying things like, what did we used to do before? What did we used to do before? Because like the POs come up and, you know, we type them. I mean, you know, it's typed on the computer. Oh my God. Or what did we do before faxes even? And now no one faxes, everyone scans.
Right.
But my gosh, we went from, you know, where it was okay to take a week to do something because things had to get mailed or things had to be driven over, to now, okay, this is what I want, scan it, and you got it. Okay, so what's the answer? It's shortened the response time. So it's been, I mean, it's such, I just wonder, like, what the heck did we do before technology and getting answers? Today, our superintendent is out of town with our assistant superintendents. And so that left me in charge. And but being able to text him, Mr. Madrigal, are you approving, you know, will you approve out-of-state travel for these three, you know, whatever? Yes. Got an answer. The person was waiting in front. The principal was waiting in front. I signed. Off they went. And, you know, before texting, even something as pedestrian as texting, before, I mean, my goodness, and just even things, how it simplifies. We saw something, a code or whatever, and we needed to remember what it was. So we were like, does somebody have a paper and a pen? I was like, take a picture of it. We walked back to our computer and then plugged it in. It's just
unbelievable
how we rely on it without knowing how much we rely on it, and how digital cameras are even going out of phase because camera phones are so good. It's like now I don't pack a camera and a phone. You know, it's like I just take my phone and take pictures. But yeah, it's scary almost how much we rely on, and how I saw something yesterday. The first Apple, the Mac that came out was like 500 megabytes or whatever, and they showed a phone, and this smartphone is this many gigabytes, which was, I think they said 135 times more powerful than the first Apple Mac.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, I don't think it was 435. I think it was 135 times more powerful, the phone, than, because what made me laugh was I had one of those Macs. I was like, okay, I belong in the Smithsonian. But yeah, so I guess that's, you know, how much we rely on it. Even like the navigation in my car. Now I'm fairly certain I would get lost coming to work if there weren't navigation in the car. So yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and for the time that you've spent with me.
My pleasure, and good luck in your program.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Hi, Mr. Ramirez. I would like to thank you for coming and doing the interview for me. This interview is going to be all about technology.
Okay.
I'm going to start with asking you how many years you have had doing transportation.
Transportation, I've had, 9 years.
And out of those 9 years, how many of them have been with Harlandale?
3 years.
How do you use technology in your position to help your department run effectively?
Technology, used on a daily basis. Cell phones are being used every day. We use Google. I use Google a lot to see the maps of the traffic pattern of the city, to see where our drivers are going. We use our Excel spreadsheets in order for bid rank, for number of routes per driver, and let's see what else we use, and also when the field trips come in, we use Excel spreadsheets to organize that onto a weekly calendar.
What other devices do your drivers use?
They use two-way radios, and they also we have 2 computers outside for them to use to look for to print out any maps they may need. And I know sometimes they use their cell phones, not when driving, but before their field trip. They'll Google where they need to go and try to get the fastest route possible, the safest route possible to get to where they're going.
To what degree are workers knowledgeable or proficient with technology in your department?
We don't require technology too much, and they drive a bus, so we don't require them to be technology. But like I said, they do have cell phones, so they do use technology on a daily basis. The administration staff, the staff that we have here, the supervisors and the admin assistants, they do use technology as far as with the Microsoft Office and such.
Are department objectives effectively and efficiently met through the use of technology?
Yes, they are.
Do you feel technology has helped you become more effective with your job?
Yes, it has, because it allows me to. It allows this position to be fair, so that the drivers can have the same number of field trips as everyone else, and to be consistent with everyone.
How has technology changed since you first started in your career?
So I started my career, changed quite a bit since working with transportation, worked in a university, and the technology there was a little different. We had GPS. Because our budget allowed us to do more, we were able to do more with our budget. So we had GPS, we had cameras, cameras that can find out where the buses were located at. So GPS has helped out. Technology has helped out a lot.
Does technology facilitate effective learning and or other student services?
I would say yes, it does. Effectively, yes.
What are some of the strengths and weaknesses within your department's technology systems?
Strength is they're able to find out where they're going. You can get an idea of the map where you're going, get an idea of what the street looks like. Before you go there, you can Google Earth. You can look at the street, and you can see if it's wide enough for a bus, or that'd be a strength. And you can look at traffic patterns and see, is this a good way to go or not. A weakness is you can't use your cell phones when you're driving, so it can also be a distraction, and it's against the law.
How do you deal with when a bus driver uses a cell phone when driving?
They're not allowed to thanks to the law, they're not allowed to use the cell phone when they're driving. They're not supposed to use a handheld wireless device. So if they were caught using a cell phone, they'd be fired. It's a policy. It's not just a policy, but it's a law as well.
Can you elaborate a little bit about that Excel program that you mentioned with the number system?
So we use Excel for several things that we do here with transportation. We have a bid rank system where you count the number of years that a driver has, and you can increase in bid rank or you can decrease in bid rank depending if you've been in an accident, or if you get 90% of your field trips, or if you get 95% of your field trips, you get another point. And accident, and also the number of days off. That's for bid rank. And then for routes, the way that is determined is to be consistent and be fair. Each time you give a route to a person, it counts it. You put a 1 there, and it counts the 1. And as you go down the list, you see who has 7 field trips. And so then you look, okay, does everybody have 7? Once everybody has 7, you go back to the top again and start all over, issue 8 field trips. And so if anyone has been canceled, the trip has been canceled, then we would make it up to them by giving them the field trip the next week.
Sounds like y'all put a lot of time into that.
It is, yes. It requires a lot of time.
Do you feel that you would benefit from additional training in any areas?
Absolutely.
No, that's all the questions I have for you. I'd like to thank you for the time that you've spent with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Delilah, for coming in to do this interview today. The interview is going to be all about technology. I'd like to start with asking you how many years of experience you have as a custodian.
25 years.
And with Harlandale.
13 years.
And how about as lead custodian?
13 years.
That's a lot of years working. That's something to be very proud of. 13 years of lead custodian. Congratulations. The first question I'm going to ask is, how do you use technology in your position to help your department run effectively?
I use it to communicate, do charts with, schedules, inventory of our equipment and supplies.
I can see where that would be helpful. What types of technology do you use for your team and for things to run smoothly?
Computers and also smartphones.
What programs do you use on your smartphone?
Words is one, and doing charts.
Mm-hmm. And with the phone, how do you use the phone?
Passing out information to them.
How often do you use technology for your job?
Daily. That's almost every day.
To what degree do your workers, are they knowledgeable and proficient with technology?
The group I have at this given time, they have knowledge
Are they able to communicate back with you?
Yes, they are.
Are department objectives effectively and efficiently met through the use of technology?
Yes.
Do you feel technology has helped you become more effective at your job?
Yes, it has.
How so?
I'm able to stay more organized and to write emails and give my fellow employees, co-workers, information and charts on how they're supposed to do things and look back and follow the events that are coming up and what they're supposed to do.
How has technology changed within your job or career since you became?
When I first entered into the custodial and I was promoted to lead, we didn't have technology. So everything had to be written or done manually. And with technology, it makes a huge difference on how to do your job in particular. It's more professional, more organized with technology.
Do you feel you're able to get more done?
Yes, faster and easier.
Does technology facilitate effective learning and other student services?
Yes.
What are some strengths and weaknesses within your department's technology systems?
Strength is it helps us to, as we communicate and need things, we can get response faster to and back. I can't see any weaknesses in it right now, not in our department.
What negative effects has technology posed in your workplace?
I don't see any at this time.
Are there any areas you feel your staff may need to be trained in?
There's always room for improvement and learning. So as it gets more complicated, I'm sure we'll always need special training to keep up with the new ways that come forward.
I'd like to thank you for your time, but I really appreciate your help and honesty.
Thank you.
Hi, Judy. I'd like to thank you for letting me come and interview with you today. The questions that we're going to ask you have to do all with technology. We're going to start out with just introducing. Can you tell me what your role is here?
I'm a child nutrition manager.
Okay. How many years have you had this position?
This position, I've had it for 12 years.
12 years. Congratulations, that's a long time. That's wonderful. We're lucky to have you. How many years have you been with Harlandale?
Completing my 31 years.
Wow, that is awesome. I know you've been here as long as I have, so that's wonderful. How many years in this line of work?
In this line of work, well, it's 12 years. I've been here 9.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And 31 total?
31.
Wow, that's incredible. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to get started with the questions. How do you use technology in your position to help you and your department run effectively?
Well, we use it quite a bit every day. It's a daily use in production, in ordering, in student counts. We use it a lot every day.
What types of technology do you and your team use routinely so that everything can function smoothly?
We have the register and have 2 cashiers, and we enter every student, every set
daily.
You mentioned that you'll have to order food, so once y'all get these numbers, that's how you end up making the orders for the food?
We go by the counts of students and what they, because we have choices.
Mhm.
So I kind of estimate, and then that's how I start ordering for the next cycle. We go on a 3-week cycle.
Oh, okay. That's nice that they get choices.
Yes.
How often do you use technology? You mentioned that y'all use it every day,
Yes.
all the time.
All the time. From milk orders, bread orders, grocery orders. We do that daily. Grocery orders will be once a week. Inventory is once a week. And then our bread is once a week too. But our milk orders every day.
Wow. Oh, and that's for breakfast, lunch,
Breakfast,
and
lunch,
tutoring.
and yes.
Wow, I
Yeah,
forgot
our
about
super-
tutoring.
Yes. Yes.
And then Ms. Garcia was telling us that that's $150 that she's asking for.
Yes, 152, and I have 102 boys and girls of the after-school program.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about challenge.
Yes, and then I have robotics on Thursdays.
Oh wow, you are busy.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
To what degree are workers knowledgeable of and proficient with technology in your department?
Well, like I said, the two cashiers, they know how to do the entering the students. They have to make sure that they have all the components, and they have to enter each student as they pass through the line.
Do your employees, do they have to do anything with the computers or just the registers?
Just the registers. I do have some all my employees, they do check their check stubs.
Mhm.
They go in to check their check stubs and their days that they have sick leave. They like to go in there and check.
All of the ordering you do yourself?
Yes, all of the ordering I do myself.
Are department objectives effectively and efficiently met through the use of technology in your department?
Yes.
Do you feel technology has helped you become more effective at your job?
Oh yes.
Explain to me a little bit how.
Yes, well, especially like the orders. Before it was on hard copy. The inventory we have to write every single. Now you just click it and it comes out.
Wow.
You just write the numbers instead of writing every single thing that we have. And now no, it's easy.
It seems like there would be less error.
Yes.
Well, you kind of answered this one. How has technology changed within your job or career since you began in this profession? You said a little bit right now that it was
Easy.
paper pencil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now everything's on the computer.
Yes.
And then you said again that it was easier now.
Yes.
Does technology facilitate effective learning and other student services?
No.
Does technology facilitate effective learning and other student services? Through the use of the cafeteria, how can students learn anything?
Well, like I said, when they come through the line, they know that they have to take the 5 components. I think that's something that they've learned as they grow older. They know the components they have to take in order for us to enter that tray, so it could count.
It's true that helps the kindergartners learn how to count.
Yes. Yes.
What are some strengths and weaknesses within your department's technology systems? Some of the strengths that you have here within your technology.
The strength is being able to learn. We learned and we get to use the computer. We got the horse's bone. We got the register. We got to learn how to use it. programs that they are trained to a computer too.
What are some of the negative effects that technology has posed here?
Negative, I would say when the computer goes down.
There you go. When the computer goes down, we're like, ah.
It depends on the weather, I guess.
How do you deal with it when the computer goes down? What happens?
We have to do everything on hard copy.
Back to the old school?
The old school, yeah.
So you'll still have to keep track of what student takes what item?
Yes.
Even when the computer goes down?
Yes, we
all
have to.
560 kids.
And we have to slash every student that comes through the line instead of just pressing the button.
Wow.
So everything is hard copy, everything we have to do.
And still keep production going fast to keep with the time.
Yes.
Well, good for you. Y'all do a great job. Are there any areas that you feel that you and your staff might benefit from additional training in?
Yes, some of the employees, it's right now it's hard for them to get into like their personal leave. They want to check their personal leave and their pay.
I think that's something that we could talk to Human Resources about. I think they offer classes for that.
Yes.
That sounds like something that's very doable. Well, Julie, if there's any questions that you have for me, I'd be happy to answer them for you. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to help me with this, and I greatly appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Maldonado. I'd like to say thank you for coming to do this interview for me.
You're welcome.
I'd like to start with asking you how many years you've been a nurse.
I've been a nurse for 20 years.
How long have you been working for Harlandale?
This year will be my 18th year.
That's something to be extremely proud of. Thank you for your years of service. First question that I'm going to ask you, and all of these questions have to do with technology. The first one is, how do you use technology in your position to help your department run effectively?
I use technology throughout the day, and I use my computers, my telephone, a printer, a copier, and that's what I use throughout the day to get my work done.
What kind of programs do you use on those devices?
The iTech. I use the San Antonio Immunization Registry System to retrieve immunizations. I use Border Health to input information, and that's where students can have apoptosis advocates. So I have to do a report on their website as well.
Can you elaborate a little bit on iText?
That's our district computer where we document. The nurses document, where the majority of the people document, output information on their medical information to our students. And it has a part for the nurses where you can enter the health information, medical information, immunizations, everything that you need to know about a student will be documented there.
Okay. How often do you use your technology for your job? You had mentioned that you use it every day.
From the start of the day, as soon as I come in, I log in. That's the most important thing because I need to have access to the computer immediately. And that's the last thing that shuts off at the end of the day when I leave and turn off the lights.
Sounds like you can't live without it anymore, huh? To what degree are workers knowledgeable of and proficient with technology in your department?
In our department, you have to be knowledgeable about the areas where you're going to be documenting, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do your work efficiently and effectively. So you have to be very knowledgeable.
I noticed that when my son comes to your office, you always send home a sheet documenting any kind of problem that he might have had throughout the day.
Yes, I send a note home so that way we have communication with the parent and they know
Are department objectives effectively and efficiently met through the use of technology?
Yes.
It kind of goes with the parent letters as well. Are y'all responsible to send information back to district office?
What we do is we put everything into the system, and we have to report monthly on how many children come into the clinic for various illnesses, first aid, conferences with parents. We have to keep a log. At the end of the month, we report to our, we send that information to our nurse coordinator.
Okay. Do you feel technology has helped you become more effective at your job?
Absolutely. This allows me to access important information quickly, and time is very important in the clinic. I have to utilize and manage my time effectively, so it's very important, and it's helped me tremendously.
I've seen how it gets in there, and you do it wonderfully. How has technology changed within your job or career since you began in this profession?
When I first started here at Harlandale, I had no computer. The only thing that was on my desk was a telephone and a clinic log. I had to do everything by hand, and it was very time consuming, especially when a parent asked to see how many times the student came to the clinic. I would have to look through logs and logs and logs.
So it sounds like it's helped out.
Oh, absolutely. Now I just push a button or type in the name, and I have a clinic log of all the visits for the entire week.
That sounds wonderful. Does technology facilitate effective learning or other student services?
Absolutely, especially with student services, because I am not able to get out of the clinic often. And when I do get out, I'll show a video, a health video on growth and development. I'll show a video on keeping good hygiene, and that helps me with the students. And a lot of the times they really enjoy the videos, the health videos that we present to the children and to the staff. And I also present to the staff.
You did that yesterday. What are some strengths and weaknesses within your department's technology system?
On the strengths, everything. I'll go with the weakness first. The weakness would be confidential information. You have to be really careful on what you submit, especially on emails and on faxes. A lot of times if people want to get something emailed or faxed, and that's not the case when I'm able to do that because of the confidential issues. That's one of the strengths. Is that we're able to document and access the information quickly. Again, because a parent or a teacher or a principal or anyone that has a need to know, is on a need to know basis, I can access that information for them promptly and get back to what I do, take their children.
Sounds like technology has really helped your work a lot. Do you feel that you would benefit from any additional training?
Yes. There's always time to learn more. Things are changing. We're always having new websites to go to, and technology is changing. Every time I come in, I have to, check to see what I need to do and what I need to improve on, and I would benefit from having more information on technology. And I know our district offers those resources. I just have to, go in there and take my time and learn them.
I'd like to thank you for your time. The clinic does really well here because of you. So I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Hi, Danielle. I want to thank you for interviewing with me today.
Okay, welcome.
Can you tell us the title of your position?
Data systems clerk.
And today is January 20th, 2016. How many years have you been working for Harlandale?
For Harlandale itself, 30 years.
30 years. Congratulations. That's an accomplishment.
Thank you.
And for this position as a data systems
16 years.
16 years. The questions are all going to be about technology. The first one is, how do you use technology in your position to help your department run effectively?
I use it on a daily basis in getting all my information that I need for my reports concerning student management.
What types of technology do you and your team use routinely, and what are they used for? Like computers, iPads, laptops?
Yes, I use, of course, my computer is my main tool. Also, scanners, fax machines, desk phone, and instant messaging, which is very useful.
What kind of programs do you use?
I use a program named iText, which is the student management. I use T-Rex, which is the student transmission of records, which is the confidential way to do it. And Discover, which produces a lot of the reports that I need for my position.
What is iText?
It's Region 20, basically.
Okay. You said you use IM. What do you normally use IM for?
To stay connected with the district PIMS clerks that do the same position that I do, or the PIMS coordinator at our central office.
How often do you use technology for your job?
Daily, hourly, by the minute.
To what degree are workers knowledgeable of and proficient with technology? You don't have workers under you, do you?
No, it's just basically me.
Are department objectives effectively and efficiently met through the use of technology?
Yes, very much so. I couldn't see it working without technology.
What's one thing that you might do that the principal might ask you for on a regular basis?
Attendance.
Okay.
Attendance numbers, percentages stated.
I hear those when we do announcements in the morning.
Yes. And that's something that she really is on top of.
Do you feel technology has helped you become more effective at your job?
Yes, it has.
Would you mind explaining a little bit about how?
Because it's the quickest and easiest way to get everything that I need to run my reports, to answer my questions, to get through to other folks.
How has technology changed within your job or career since you began in this profession?
The programs have been, of course, updated throughout the years, and computers have become faster and more efficient.
When you first started, do you remember what you did?
Yeah, a lot of it was manual.
Pen and paper?
Yes. Until I started to integrate with technology.
Do you feel it's more effective this way?
Yes, very much so.
Does technology facilitate effective learning or other student services?
Yes, because I do get requests from people personnel office for different reports to do with like Social Security, disability, all sorts of reports like that that I have to pull up to send them via mail to them. Confidential emails.
What are some strengths and weaknesses within your department's technology systems?
Weaknesses is really only when the whole district goes down, the server. That would be a big weakness because it comes to a stop.
are some ways that they deal with it, or you might deal with it?
I don't deal with it.
Does the district have a policy that they run or a procedure?
We report it as quickly as possible, and they get on it like right away. Usually it is up and running like very quickly.
Are there some strengths within your department's technology system?
The strength is that our district, Arlington, is very advanced in technology methods. So that's a big plus to our district and my position.
What negative effects has technology posed in your workplace?
Negative, I would say there really isn't anything negative except that part when the subject is that.
And one last question for you. Is there anything that you feel that you need more training on for technology?
Monthly we have what is called an info session. We get a lot of information concerning our position. As far as technology, we are offered to take courses, but at the present I feel that everything we need is there.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Greatly appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
In reflecting, I learned through the interviews that the individuals I interview use technology as a pivotal part of their daily departmental operations. In fact, they use technology so much that their biggest concerns is that the servers and systems may go down. Each person is an expert in the areas that help them perform and manage their job most efficiently. For example, Mrs. Tudyk works often with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. She relies heavily on the iText program and emails to help her Human Resources Department run more effectively, as she is able to communicate information with employees quickly. In this way, she can reach departmental objectives. This is a huge change since she started in education with the mimeograph. Now, employees' records can be accessed digitally in seconds. Because of the growing demands for technology and human resources, Mrs. Tudyk shared that her team would benefit from training in ways to be more efficient in Microsoft Office. Mrs. Tudyk said that technology has allowed her department to do their job much more quickly and efficiently. Christopher Ramirez uses technology daily in the transportation department to help the department run effectively and meet objectives by communicating with drivers through cell phones, GPS, two-way radios, and using Excel for scheduling and rank order for drivers based off of a PowerPoint system. Mr. Ramirez shared that there is always room for training as employees in the office work with technology daily. For his drivers, it is not a requirement to use technology, though they will show them how. The biggest strength technology brings to his department is the ranking system based off of an Excel program to keep logs and assignments for field trips so that it is all fair for his drivers. Mrs. Medina uses computers and phones to help her department run effectively and meet objectives daily. She shared that since she started in custodial work, the use of technology has helped her make her job more concise and effective, as she is able to make schedules, take inventory, place orders, make charts, distribute information, send emails, prepare for upcoming events, and stay organized with the use of technology. She added that she uses smartphones as support to communicate information quickly with her staff. Technology has come a long way since Ms. Medina started in the field 25 years ago, and although she uses technology daily, she would like to improve on the areas of making schedules, as technology has become more complicated. Mrs. Rodriguez also uses technology daily to meet her departmental objectives by using computers, registers, and phones. A program in her computer called AccuPlane allows for her to be more efficient and effective within her department in regards to the ordering of food and milk. She She bases this on student numbers to include breakfast, lunch, tutoring, and any other special program counts. Employees within the cafeteria use computers to check their personal records like absences, check stubs, and their time cards on the iText program. The staff within her department would benefit from training on how to navigate through the iText system. When Mrs. Rodriguez first started in cafeteria work 31 years ago, she stated that everything was done manually. Now technology allows her to complete her task in half of the time. Mrs. Maldonado has been an RN for 20 years and has moved from paper pencil to all electronic records. As she uses technology every single day and corresponds with parents and other people within her department electronically. She uses computers, phones, copiers, and fax machines to help her department run more efficiently and to reach objectives. Her department uses several programs and databases such as iText, San Antonio Immunization, and Border Health for monthly reports. Technology has helped her by allowing her to access information quickly and allows for student services and health development through videos. In her field, technology can pose negative effects of confidentiality. However, they are very careful with what is sent over technology. The benefits outweigh the negative. And Mrs. Barajas has also seen technology evolve in her 30 years with the district. She also uses technology by the minute, by means of computer, scanners, fax, IM, and phone. The programs she uses to help her department run smoothly are iText and T-Rex. She uses these programs to communicate student records and produce reports. Info sessions are in place to keep employees up to date with changes, so Ms. Barajas' biggest fear is when the system goes down. Overall, I got an understanding of the significance of technology in the daily function of everyone's departments. Looking back, I would ask some of the leaders guiding questions. Before the camera was turned on, some of the interviewees shared information. However, once the camera was on, they became nervous. Although I gave some examples when I sensed nervousness, I should have asked more specific questions based off of their responses. I know that technology is often used. It was surprising to hear how much everyone uses it. It seems that their departments would freeze or be greatly affected if servers or systems went down. Knowing this, as a school leader, I want to make sure that everyone is well trained for their positions and continue to receive ongoing training. I also want to ensure that technology TEKs are being implemented so that our students will be prepared for their workforce, as technology seems to be a pivotal role in our society.